Hello, 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 Mace.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
Oh, absolutely. We're happy to have you. Happy to have you too, Cece,
Thank you.
as always. And we're happy to have you too. Thank you so much for joining us here for KARE 11 News at Noon. Today, we are learning even more about the next steps now that President Joe Biden has announced that he will no longer be running for a second term.
Yeah, we know that even more. We know about even more today and have just heard from the vice president, who President Biden is now endorsing. I'll have that and more from the last 24 hours.
And if there wasn't enough whirlwind in the political sphere, same with the, weather. We're always like, what do we have next, Mace?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll calm it down for us.
After last week, anything going on this week seems busy. And it's all back to the way it was, it seems like a few weeks ago, where we were seeing on and off showers and storms and a very active weather pattern. We'll be in that at least here for a couple of days, although it's nice in the metro this morning. A little muggy here as we pull into the afternoon, but not much in the way of clouds. As you take a check at temps, it's already 80 here in the Twin Cities, 82 St. Cloud. You notice it's cooler up north, though. There's some showers starting to move through. Grand Rapids around 70. Same thing, International Falls. That's this little front that's dropping down. And again, it's producing some showers from northwest Ontario through the Boundary Waters, the Iron Range, and just clipping now into northern Cass County and northern Aiken County. Around the Reamer area over towards Grand Rapids, Wakanabu, and Big Sandy, seeing some of those showers north of Farm Island and also Aiken. A couple of showers passing through from Rice Lake over towards Hayward and north of Ladysmith as well in northern Wisconsin. Can't rule out a slow-moving storm today that could produce some pockets of heavy rain. We had a little bit of that going on yesterday. I don't think we'll see that as we look into the next couple of days, but an isolated, again, stronger storm could cause a few problems today. We'll watch that. 82 for our high, 83 or so. Looks like a nice afternoon.
Mace, thank you. Well, just over an hour ago, we heard from Vice President Kamala Harris outside the White House. It's been less than 24 hours since President Biden announced he will be leaving the race for re-election and endorse Harris. And Cece, this has definitely been a major shift. A little more than 100 days away from the election. My, what a headline.
I know, a lot of things shaking up. And, these were her first remarks since President Biden dropped out of the race for the White House. Harris gave an update about Biden, saying he's recovering fast and feeling much better. We know he's recovering from COVID. She went through some of his political accomplishments and expressed her admiration for him. That happened just an hour ago, but let's also get into what happened this weekend. While isolating with COVID, Biden posted a letter on X on Sunday saying, "I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down." Shortly after the announcement, Biden putting his support behind Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic nominee. Harris responding, quote, "I am honored to have the president's endorsement and my intention is to earn and win this nomination." At 59, Harris represents a younger generation than President Biden and former President Trump. Prominent Democrats weighed in this morning about this situation.
We talked about winning this race. And, if you want a nominee who can put Donald Trump's destruction of Roe v. Wade at center stage, if you want a nominee who actually prosecuted criminals like Donald Trump, and if you want a nominee who can put Trump's age and fitness into forefront, Kamala Harris is the person.
Well, Biden's decision has opened the donation floodgates for Harris. According to her campaign, she raised nearly $50 million in grassroots donations following Biden's endorsement. The campaign is also expecting a surge in large dollar donations after it was reported that many big donors vowed to hold off on donating until President Biden dropped out. Now, President Biden says he'll address the nation later this week to talk about his decision. Like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, there's a lot of reaction about this decision from both sides. I'll show you some of those responses, including from Donald Trump, in about 30 minutes.
Cece, thank you. Reaction still pouring in from political leaders all across the country, including former President Donald Trump. The Republican presidential nominee issued a statement after Biden's announcement saying the president is certainly not fit to serve. Trump went on to allege those around Biden, including his doctor and the media, knew he was not capable of being president. Governor Tim Walz also posted on X saying, quote, "Joe Biden is and always has been an American hero. History will look fondly on his legacy." Then just 3 hours ago, he tweeted this picture saying, quote, "Thanks for the call, Kamala Harris. You have my full support." Senators Tina Smith and Amy Klobuchar are also backing Vice President Harris.
She has a wealth of experience. She is a former prosecutor. I believe she could prosecute the case and make the contrast with former President Trump.
You're already seeing people come out strongly in favor of her, from moderate Democrats to liberal Democrats. You are seeing people uniting on her candidacy.
On the Republican side, Representative Tom Emmer says if President Biden is unfit for re-election, he's unfit to control our nuclear codes. He and other Minnesota Republicans are calling for the president to step down immediately. Well, we are now on day 4 of the travel nightmare across the nation's airport. Flights still getting canceled, delayed after an outage that it took thousands of airline computers down on Friday. Audrey Russo gives us a look at how this morning went at MSP, and as she explains, one airline is struggling more than others to get back online.
To say it's a hectic start to the week at MSP would be pretty much the understatement of the century. You can see hundreds of passengers frustrated at day 4 of this outage. You can see the line to talk to Delta up at the Delta counter, extending down around the corridor. So many people waiting in line that they've actually had to bring out some signs to mark where the security line begins and where the Delta line begins. So far this morning, we've seen about 20 flights canceled. Many of those flights are Delta, but some are with other airlines as well. This is really adding just to the story of how hectic this weekend has been. More than 1,500 flights were canceled on Sunday, which marked the 3rd straight day of mayhem. Upwards of 1,000 of those flights were Delta. This means the spotlight is on Delta hubs like MSP. The issue all caused by a flawed software update to Microsoft devices. Thousands of airline computers that were taken offline are now in the process of being rebooted this morning. There's also a hassle for parents trying to fly their kids as unaccompanied minors on Delta. Delta is halting that service until Wednesday. We've spoken with passengers here who are abandoning the idea of flying altogether, making plans to drive to their destinations. Some are fed up with Delta specifically, opting to try their luck, rebooking elsewhere. But one thing is very clear among everybody: the frustration is palpable, as many Delta passengers started their morning waiting in this hours-long line.
We got canceled due to the crash and stayed in a hotel for 2 nights. 3 nights, and hopefully heading home, but I think we're going to miss our flight.
They let us know 1 hour before getting to the plane. Everything was canceled, and we're stuck here for 3 more days. Every hotel is full capacity right now. So it kind of sucks because we're very tired.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is weighing in. He posted on social media saying the Department of Transportation has received hundreds of complaints of, quote, unacceptable customer service with Delta. He went on to say that he plans to hold the airline accountable to all passenger protections. In the meantime, CrowdStrike, the software company that pushed that bug to update, says that they have fixed the issue, so now it's just a matter of how quickly these computers can be rebooted, these systems can be recovered, and all of these passengers sent back on their way. Back to you.
Audrey, thank you. And today, Minneapolis Parks and Rec workers are picketing at Lindale Farmstead Park for the 19th day of their strike. In the last 48 hours, union members announced they rejected the park board's latest contract offer, with 91% voting against it. They claim that they've accepted the board's proposed wage adjustment and wage schedule, but are waiting for changes on what they are calling anti-worker language. Well, in response, the board says there has been no agreement on wages. Their offer is more than $1 million less than the union's counteroffer. The board also says the language used is similar to what was approved earlier this year for City of Minneapolis workers. Public parks and St. Louis Park are now equipped to potentially save your life. The city announced that thanks to a public safety aid grant, the Parks and Rec Department installed 4 AEDs and climate-controlled cabinets at Aquila Wolf and Louisiana Oaks Parks and Westwood Hills Nature Center. Portable defibrillators help shock someone's heart back into rhythm until emergency services can arrive. Well, you may need to keep an eye on where your information is being used after a major data breach involving 2 Twin Cities healthcare companies. Your social security number and driver's license number might have been exposed. One of the facilities, Consulting Radiologist, is based out of Eden Prairie. In a letter sent to patients, it said the hack happened on February 12th and affected more than 500,000 people. Those impacted may be entitled to compensation. Well, the second facility hit is Minneapolis-based MNGI Digestive Health. In a notice posted last week, the company said nearly 766,000 patients were affected by this breach, which happened last August. The company says it did not know protected information was involved until 10 months later. In addition to driver's license and social security numbers, medical information may have also been exposed.